There is a story online, and you probably get to ask this a million times, but this is like a different, I don't know, a way to go about it. So there's a story online that says Jim Cornette slapped you because you weren't reacting properly to the boogeyman in the audience, but they say Jim Cornette was fired because of that incident. Now, I have a theory that in any business, you create a case against an employee before you get rid of them, usually. I am guessing that your slap or your tap or whatever happened is that final, help, you went past the line. We've done so many things already. Now we've reached here. What did you hear about him being laid off? Was it someone said, oh, it's because what happened to you? Or is it, hey, this has been building for a while and that was just the end?
No, you're absolutely right. To be honest, it was the final straw
Okay.
really that broke the camel's back. They had been wanting to get rid of him for quite some time. Allegations of racism and just abuse, threatening at talent and all this stuff. And yeah, he called me. So it was my first day there ever at OVW TV. I was with my daughter actually. She was 10 at the time, I believe, and we were just in the audience, and the
So you wait,
boogeyman,
your daughter sat next to you?
she was in front of me. Now,
Okay.
here's the reason I was smiling,
Okay.
because the boogeyman, she was shitting her pants, right? And so I went to grab her because she started, like, she was trembling. She was 10,
Yeah.
and I just kind of sat back like, this is going to be good, man. She's going to remember this forever. And that smirk on my face of me saying, "Oh, this is going to be good," infuriated him. He thought that I was laughing at the product and not selling, and
Hmm.
yeah, and that's kind of the history. Then I was called backstage, and he berated me and yelled at me, and didn't really phase me at all. I mean, I've had football coaches screaming in my face and judo coaches,
Of
trying to
course.
choke me out.
Is your daughter next to you while he's yelling at you? Where's your daughter?
No, 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 no. Yeah, they brought me backstage,
Okay.
and then they left her out there with some of the other. But the irony is, it was just like my first day, like in my first my first day, and I'm like, I'm just an audience member. I don't think I have any responsibilities on this show. I'm like, I'm here with my family, man. And he was a hothead,
Of
And the
course.
only thing, the worst part is I didn't get a chance to learn from him, because he obviously has a lot of experience, and I'm sure I could have learned a tremendous amount from him if he didn't blow it for himself and for everybody else by being an idiot and getting fired.
I'm kind of happy. Well, I'm not kind of. I'm happy you said that because the story online is just like, oh, he attacked Jim Cornette, attacked you backstage, slapped you, and that's what got him fired. But clearly, this was not a, oh, you did this, you're out. This is clearly we've been trying to get rid of you, and
Yeah, it just
we finally found the moment that is unsafe work environment that you got to get out of here.
Yeah, and WWE was pretty cool, man. They were honest. They sat me down. They said, "Look, we've been wanting to get rid of him for quite some time. He's not getting fired because of you." Like, kind of to take the guilt off me, right?
Right.
And also, they go, "Look, and on the other hand, there's no freebies because of this. When the time is right, we hear you have some potential that we'll give you an unbiased observation.
Yeah.
And but by no means is there anything given to you." And some people think I was given a job like the next day. It was like over a year later when I earned it myself, and I was going to practice 3 times a day in morning class and the intermediate class and the advanced class, and for well over a year. And I even wanted to test it out. So when I debuted as Santino, I saw Johnny Ace backstage. I said, "Hey man, I want to thank you for giving me that unbiased observation." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Thank you. That's what I needed to hear." I said, "I'm the Cornette guy," and I could see his face like, "No shit." And but just the fact that he didn't know who I was when I said that, I
Right.
know that I earned it on my own merit, because he likes to tell people that I was just gifted a job so that I wouldn't sue, and I wasn't going to sue. Like, that just this no, it's not even my DNA to want to sue anybody.
Right.
So yeah, it was just a blip on the radar here.
Because I was going to say, I was going to think the opposite was sometimes in big corporations, you end up on like a list where it's like, yeah, this person's a troublemaker. Obviously, you're not a troublemaker, but you caused a troublesome incident. And so someone might label you on your first day It's not like you've been there for 6 months and people know, oh, that's not him. He wouldn't do that. Versus first day, impressions are everything sometimes in business. And here you are. Yet that moment of you smiling as a father with your daughter, and then that being ripped away from you as a memory to remember forever, you have to deal with these questions about this moment.
Yeah, it's funny because it's 17 years ago.
Still being asked about it.
Still asked about it,
Of
and then
course.
so the whole thing that happened a couple of years back, when I had my neck surgery, I had a buddy named Josh, and this guy, one day I'm still in bandages. I just had my surgery, and I see missed call, a text message saying, "Dude, I'm so sorry. I didn't know he was going to do that." Voicemail shows up, voicemail, missed call. And I'm like, "What the hell?" So I answer his next call, and he goes, "Dude, I'm sorry. I didn't know he was going to do that. He just took the phone. He wouldn't give it back." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "You didn't hear the message?" I said, "No, man." So anyway, I listened to the message, and it's Jim Cornette, and he's at like a convention or something. And my buddy Josh said, "Did you hear Santino had neck surgery? He had to retire." And he goes, "Oh yeah, you know him?" And my buddy goes, "Yeah, yeah, he goes, call him up." My buddy calls me up, and it's leaving a message, and Jim Cornette takes the phone and cuts his promo in front of everybody. This is Jim Cornette, and I heard that you have to retire because of a neck injury, and I just couldn't say I'm so happy. You never deserved to be there. You were a joke, and like I'm looking at my phone, and I'm still literally in bandages out of surgery,
Right.
and I'm like, what a dirtbag. And I said, like, the first interaction, altercation, I'll let that slide, but this one I'm gonna remember. And then when I retired from WWE, I did one of those shoot videos with Rob Feinstein, shoot videos,
Yeah.
and then I told the story for the first time. And so someone heard it, messaged him, and was like, "I'm gonna shit on your grave when you're dead." And he's like, "What?" And then he heard about it, and he denied it in the beginning. He's like, "I never did that." Obviously, he was embarrassed, and he realized he crossed the line.
Yeah.
So and then fast forward like several years later, there's a convention in Detroit, and my buddy Scott Demore was like, "Hey, my buddy needs one more guy. Would you care to go? So and so is going to be here. So and so is going to be here. Jim Cornette's going to be here." I go, "Jim Cornette's going to be there." I go, "Okay, I'll go." And I just honestly wanted to do what I did: extend my hand, have a chuckle, let's have a laugh, let's put it behind us.
Yeah.
We have enough mutual friends that I'm hoping we can be men about it. And just he proceeds to try and cut this promo on me. Oh, so here's the thing. In the convention hall, I go to the bathroom. I'm walking down the hallway. There's like nobody in the hallway because the convention's inside. And the door just opens and he comes out by himself. And I guess he's going to the bathroom too or whatever. So I start smirking right away, and I'm like, "Okay, here we go, man to man. No one's around. Let's hash it out."
Yeah.
And so I go up to him, extend my hand, and say, "Hey, Anthony Corelli. And he tries to cut this promo and walk away. And I'm like, "Wait a second, man. After all these years, you think it's just going to go down like this?" I go, "You got to be absolutely kidding me." And I said, "I came here to whatever, put it behind us. But if you're willing to take it somewhere, I'm I'm not that kid anymore. You have zero power over me in this industry. I'm retired, man. It's just man to man. There's no way you're going to punk me off like that, man to
Right.
man, and walk away." And then, of course, he did the whole help security. This guy's trying to start something, and I just pushed out because in one of his podcast, when someone called him out on it, he said, "You know what? Next time I see him, I'm going to slap him again." And that was when I made a mental note. And I said, "Okay, we'll see." So here I am, slap me again. And then instead of he's cried for help like a wussy.
So that's the last time you saw him?
Yeah, I never even really met the guy. It was like I met him once to slap it, and then years later I met him again, stuck my hand out to put it behind us, and he's freaked out and he made his whole scene, and still never had to sit down, had a beer, had a chuckle over it. Like I don't carry any ill will towards anybody, but
Right.
man, this guy has some serious issues, man.
Right. There's many stories online
A lot,
involving
a lot.
involving him. So you're not the first person to tell a story about Jim Cornette. You probably won't be the last either.
Yeah,
But
it's called the common denominator, and he's definitely that.
it's quite an interesting tale of. I've read so many things online about him, and you're like, wow, I can't believe someone said that. But again,
I
I'm not
I'm a
Jim Cornette,
sucker.
so I don't know.
I'd still have a beer with the guy.
Of course. Oh, I would too. But the stories you hear, I'm not personally involved with them. So when obviously you are. So when you hear this, you're like, this happened for real?
Yeah.
Like everything that you've read online is true, and that's interesting. The hallway though is interesting. Very seeing each other in this. No one's around. It's just you two. That could have it
Well,
could
I
have gone
thought nobody
wrong
was
very
around.
quick.
I thought nobody was around, but there was like video clips popped up like instantaneously before I even left the venue. I was driving home and my buddies are texting me saying, "What the hell happened in Detroit?" And there's like video clips and everything. I mean, how? Where did these people even like
They're just
sneak come out of? You know?
popping out of
Yeah,
holes and
like
the
people are quick on
walls.
the draw when it comes to recording stuff.